What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TW Motorsports, and today, well, I figured we'd show you some of the stuff that we've done to the G8 so far, and I figured we'd go through some stuff that we're going to be doing today. So, not sure how far we'll get, but we have had a couple parts come in. Like I told you guys, this is my son's car, and hopefully he'll be out here soon to help. Since it is his car, he's been pretty good about that. But yeah, V6 G8, like I said in the first video, guys, I did not want to give him a V8 for his first car. It just wasn't going to happen. So anyway, found a local dealership that had a 6-cylinder version, kind of the color that he wanted, but we do want to do some things to it. So far what we have done, you can see the vent visors. I told you guys that in the last video. We ripped those off, right? So aside from that, we were able to get all the window tint off the windshield. It had like a, I don't know what they call that, a brow, I guess. Got it all off the side glass, all off this glass. However, when we got to the back glass, it began to give us some problems. So the first edge that I started to pick, it separated. When I got down a little further, it started again, but then it pulled the line up for the defrost. So at that point, guys, you're pretty much shot, and so you're gonna have to razor blade it off. And you can see that we've gotten roughly, what, a third of it if you count how far down we've got to go. The other thing you notice is the third brake light is out. I should have really showed you guys this, but the third brake light in these cars, pretty common for them to fail. But I've got a post broken off. I don't know if you guys see that post on the right. The one on the left is broken off. So this thing was like kind of sagging. So we're gonna attempt to glue that, I think. Yeah, so, but hey, look, that's what you have to do when you buy something used. In order to get this down far enough where I could reach up there and get it, I did let the headliner down. All I did, guys, was I took the 2 Torx that hold the little handle right here on. I took those out, and then I took the 2 rear panels out that you see sitting over there on the 4-wheeler. So there's just 2 bolts. Some of them say they don't have it, but there's one bolt up here that has an airbag tab over it. You pull it out and get that Torx out, and then it just pulls out at that point. But today, what we had planned on doing is he got a new gas cap. I don't blame him, guys. This gas cap looks hokey, and we happened to find one on eBay that didn't need to be painted, was actually this color, and so that made things really, really nice. You can see it sitting here, so we're gonna put that on today. I'm thinking that we're going to yank the windshield wipers because I want to have him sand them down. We're gonna try to repaint them just with some, you know, handheld spray can type deal, make them look a lot better. Other than that, we may get into pulling the front bumper off because I think he's gonna lose the billet grills, which I don't blame him. And then the paint, he has clay barred this entire thing. It took him about 8 hours. And so you can see a ton of marring, and we may start some of the paint correction process. Like I said, we'll just kind of go and put some stuff on, see where we get to, and kind of end it at that. But I will tell you guys, the spoiler broke. I don't know how much I explained in the first video. I was just messing with it. It fell off. Pretty common problem on the G8. I should have showed you guys this as well, but it's kind of been one of those things where we've worked on it very little each night. And we just got through putting some panel bond on the plastic that goes on the deck lid, that goes on the spoiler. So we're gonna let it set for a few days. I doubt that you'll see that in this video. But before we put it back on, I do wanna paint correct the deck lid. So we may start there, try to get some more of this 2-sided tape off and some residue, paint correct this so we're ready to slap that spoiler back on when it's ready. So I think we'll just set you guys up on a tripod and see what we can get done. So the way we got this gas door is it came with everything. It came with this and the whole arm. And I actually think, because I'm afraid of breaking it, this one slides off real easy. So, oh, that's great. Just slides off, but the other one doesn't, and I don't want to break it. So I think what I'm gonna have him do is grab some Torx, and there's only 3 Torx that hold that thing on. So go grab the Torx and we'll get that out. No, you don't need to take those out. Just the front ones. So T25 is what takes this thing out. I'd say probably once you get them that far out, you can probably take that off the end and spin them out by hand. Here. Guess I could have left that gas steel hooked up. this mod so far. Thank you, back on. There's one more in there. Just don't drop that one in the gas tank. That'd be a freaking nightmare. We'd leave it. I'm gonna hold that because it's probably most of it. Blocking the camera. Out. How easy this? Oh, that's not bad. So, close it. Yeah, and then hook it in there. Alright, go ahead and start it. Started. Go ahead and start the other ones. Right there. I don't think you can miss a line. Oh, looks good. And the match is perfect. So there's no real alignment here. It looks like, see, it moves a little bit. It lines up pretty good. He's gonna go ahead and claymore that thing, but what a difference. Let's look, you know, and that just sticks out. Looks ridiculous. So either way, hey, free giveaway, guys. If somebody in the comments wants this, let me know, and I will send it to you free of charge. But he's gonna clay bar that. We're gonna go up to the front and see if we can work on the windshield wipers. Okay, on up here to the windshield wipers. I think we can just take a flat blade screwdriver and pop this out. I may have to go get a pick. Maybe not. This little thing here covers up. Holy cow, look at the rusty bolt. I think that's a 13. So we will go grab a 13 millimeter, and you can go ahead, if you reach down here, you can unplug your rubber line that goes to your windshield wiper washer. See that guy there? You can just pull straight out. And same thing, it looks like we'll have to have the hood up to get to this one. One other thing that's bad is if you look here, the struts are bad. So we need to order some new struts for the hood. See, it's starting to gradually fall down. So I'm gonna probably have to have him hold it while I grab this other one and get that I think it's a 15 or a 13 out. Once we got the windshield wipers off, we're gonna go ahead and replace the blades as well. One thing that's really odd about these G8s is they have two squirting mechanisms. So you got one right there, and then you got another one up closer. So I'm gonna leave those on and kind of tape off around them. And then I'm gonna have him just go out, scuff these up. And like I said, guys, we're just gonna use some Krylon or, you know, maybe some Rust-Oleum actually to just spray these down. One of the things I thought we might do while we had the wipers off is take this panel out. But honestly, guys, I think what we'll do is we'll just clean it in place. We've got some new cleaner up there. There's between my two buckets some new trim cleaner from Chemical Guys, and I'll list in the description down below. But what I think we'll do is we'll use some of that. It does a really good job of taking off old wax, any kind of like oxidation of sorts. So what we'll do is we'll probably just spray some of that in here. Also gonna have him do like these ledges right here as well, just to, before we put any kind of dressing on them. And actually what I'll probably do is we'll clean all these channels everywhere where there's a rubber or plastic seal like this, we'll clean. And after we get it clean, we'll paint correct it, and then we'll come back and dress it afterwards. So, but at this point, I think we may start tackling the front bumper. He's out here sanding on those windshield wipers. So he's gonna get those knocked down. We'll probably clean those off and spray them. I won't show you guys that. It's just literally spray paint. So, but other than that, let's see what's involved in getting this front bumper off. So I got sick of the hood falling down, so I put a pair of vice grips over there on it. But now let's see, we got a couple 10mm here. Then a couple clips. He's still out there sanding. We're gonna pull the headlights out, so we'll get these 10s here in a little bit. But these clips right here, I have a tool that makes removing these really nice. You guys have seen me use it before, but this guy right here, I'll list it down below, but it makes pulling these out really, really simple. You don't have to separate them. Generally, sometimes they come apart, sometimes they don't. But get these clips out, and then these same things are in the fender liner. Need to get those out. We should be loose here. This feels like we have a lot to go though. We'll go ahead and there's probably 3 of these clips on each side of the fender liner on the front that comes into the bumper, so I'll grab those. I can't really get you a good shot of those, but then we'll look on the bottom and see what's down there. I actually had him turn the wheel all the way to the left. We got those 2 out. There's one right here, one right here, but then we can pull this back and we have access to a 10mm that is right inside, comes up like into the fender right here. So we're gonna go ahead and take that 10 out as well. There's actually 2 of those right there, you can see, and they're kind of odd. See, they have this that sets on the top, and then your 10 comes in from the bottom. So this will come out if you put any pressure up. So I went ahead and pulled them out so we didn't lose them, but now we need to probably get on the bottom and see what's holding it on there, because it looks like something along the bottom is probably holding it as well. One of the things I noticed while I was down here, there's 7mm that run, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like, along the leading edge of the bumper to loosen it up. But this bottom grill was actually screwed to the outer shell. The top one's not like this, but maybe to keep you from having to pull the bumper off. This is the way they did it, I don't know. And it may look like trash. We may want to put it back on. We'll just have to see. Not much to them here. There's something behind them. So I think we're still going to have to take it out. Alright, down to one left here. These things are like, I don't know how they don't poke into the radiator. Nope. That'd be too easy. Should have got a drill. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I like it better without.
Without what?
Come here and see what you think.
Oh, Nicholas doesn't have anything to do with that time.
Well, come here and look at it and tell me what you think. So, with and without, I like the honeycomb, but I mean, it's your car, so you make the call. I mean, it needs cleaned up, but with or without? Without? Okay, good. I'm glad you chose that, because it looks ridiculous. All right, we'll keep going. So now we got those ugly things out. I'm so glad you chose to go without them. You never know with a kid, you know? Anyway, let's see if we can get these 7s out. I don't know why I brought an 8. I just assumed that it would be an 8 if I brought just a 7. All my tools are down in the shop. And really, we need to probably move this down here, but I don't want to get dust on everything like it's going to happen when we paint correct. And it's actually missing one of these 7s down here. We should be pretty loose at this point. I've got to get the things out of the back that, we just put on here. Getting pretty loose. Okay, that's good. We'll keep going. We'll get these 7s out. And then I haven't got the stuff out of the other side, the clips out of the inner fenders. I'm going to have him turn the wheel the other way. And a guy probably could reach in and get this, but I don't want to risk. Look, when you're dealing with an older car, when the plastics start to get brittle, you don't want to risk breaking something. Will somebody else do it? Probably. That's not the way I do things, guys. You guys should know that by now, that you don't have to do anything around here. If anything, we'd go a little overboard. Probably could have just let him drive this as is. But it's got a couple dingers in the front bumper. I noticed we may end up putting a license plate bracket on it just to kind of cover up. There's one little spot right here for sure. We're getting pretty loose now. I might go ahead and take the tins out of the top of the headlights since there went my 8mm. Let's take the tins out of the top here. Those are loose, this is loose. We'll get those clips out of the other side and see what we've got. I think we've got it all. There's a series of clips, like just about all your GM products that hold this. And I think, yeah, if you lift up and then out, it comes loose. All right, come grab that other side. Besides being a pain, we need a flathead screwdriver. Got part of that. There we go. Okay, now we need to drag it out and unplug some lights. You just hold it here and I'll unplug the lights. Got it? Here's one. Actually, you know what? We can leave the lights plugged in. We just need to unplug the main lead. Maybe. Been plugged in since new, apparently. Holy cow. Okay, back to unplugging the lights, because that was easier. So after beating myself up trying to get that out, decided to go back to the light unplug method. I don't know why, but that clip will not come off. So we're going to take the harness off the bumper. It's not too bad, it just some clips. Just not the way I wanted to do it. Alright, set the bumper over there, I guess. So, now that we got that off, what a chore. I don't know what's going on with this plug right here, guys, but it is not wanting to move and I'm not going to force it. So, the headlights, we've got one 10mm that's kind of a pain to get to back here. So we got the two 10s up top, but there's one back here in the back, and I'm sure that if somebody didn't know what they were doing and took these out before, they would just snap that one off. Pretty common, especially like in the Tahoes. But I'm going to go ahead, I might, just to gain more access, take the two 10s out that hold this panel where our clips were mounting to the bumper. In fact, I think I will. That'll just give me more room to get to that bottom bolt. So we'll whip these two out, get this out of place, set it to the side, and then we'll have our headlight loose. So there's actually 4 bolts in the headlights. There's another one back here behind this clip that held that bumper in place. So don't get crazy and start yanking it out. I almost did, and I thought, yeah, there's something else holding it. And the reason, guys, so look, we could be finished at this point on the front bumper, but we went over the headlights with some M105. Actually, it wasn't even M105. It's a different. I was out of M105. We're gonna wet sand these a little bit, and I think I'm gonna have him get some 1000 grit and some water, just wet sand them, and we'll just go through stages of kind of polishing them up. Now, how long they last, I don't really know. They may last a long time, they may not. Generally, when you wet sand them, you know, they may last 6 months until they start to haze up again. But I also want to put new headlight bulbs in, some LEDs, which are not going to be here, like I said, for a couple days. So we still have to take them out anyway. I mean, you can try to monkey around in the back and get them out, but you're going to spend twice as much time, in my opinion. So once we get that out of place, like this, and they've got stuff clipped to it from the back. I could take this last bolt out of the corner. And the headlight's loose, but you do need to unplug it. Where's that flathead screwdriver? There's like a lock on them. So pull this out, and there's a red lock that you slide up with the screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. And as you pull it off, that red lock gets further and further up. You can see what I'm talking about. So that's what keeps that headlight connected. So we'll have to pull this apart. These right here, you know, keep junk out of the lights. Holy cow, they are tight. So we'll unscrew those, but it's not really needed yet, I guess, because we don't have the new headlights, and I don't know how much we'll be able to fit in there anyway. Once we got all this stuff off, so we got the headlights out, he's actually sanding on the headlights with some 2000 grit. We're dry sanding it first, and then I may have him followed up with maybe some wet with the 2000, but you can see it's chalking it up real nice. Having them go directional, so right to left. And so once he gets finished with that, I'll have him hold it while I buff it. It's gonna take long, and you wanna go at really slow speeds, guys, because if you don't, now with my DA, it's not a big a deal, but if you're using like a rotary, and you go over like 1500 RPMs, you are going to absolutely burn through those lights, and you don't want to do that. So the DA is a little more forgiving. But while he's doing that, oh my gosh, I'm going to continue scraping window tint. So I'm not going to show you guys any of this. I'm literally, guys, using like a scraper on a stick in order to reach down here and get this. Now this area down here is going to suck, but I put a towel back here. I've got a towel over there on the four-wheeler that we're laying down so we don't get any glue or anything, you know, gross on this deck lid, or you know, the mat in between the seats and the back here. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this while he does that. So unfortunately, it's getting worse before it gets better. I can't get to this tent down here, just can't reach it. So I'm gonna need to take that package tray out, and I've never done it before, guys. So I've taken, like I said, the headliner partly down for that brake light, but we ended up taking the back seats out. So how the back seats come out is you just pull about right here, about in the middle of the bottom. Just pull up as hard as you can and do the same thing on the other side. That seat will come out. Once you get that out, there are 13 millimeters here, here, and then you lift this seat up. It's got two hooks that hook up top here. You've got that out. I'm not gonna take the center out because I don't need that out. So the next thing I'm thinking is we're gonna pull these little push-in clips out and see what we get from there. The other thing is like the latch. There's a 13 millimeter that holds the latch system in place, and there's 3 of those. So flip that up, as you can see I've done, and we'll take those out, and we'll just kind of see where we're at after that. Oh my, how life has gotten easier. We were able to get that out of the way. So let me tell you what we had to do. We took the 18 millimeter off the seat belt that held this seat belt, the third seat belt here in the center. Took the 13 millimeters that held all the latch systems. So there's 3 of those, like I said, across the back. Got those out. Once we took the 18 off of this at the bottom, it threads through as you're pulling the deck lid off. And then the clips, obviously we had a clip here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips, pulled that out, even this plastic section in the middle. And then we just gradually lifted it, and the clips came loose, and we pulled it straight out. So this gives me, guys, so much more room. Now I'll be able to get the rest of that window tint off. And even though we've completely blown the back of this car apart, look at all the electronics back here. I guess now if you ever wanted to change speakers, it would be a good time, but the speakers actually sound great in this car. But yeah, quite a bit of work. But we're going to continue scraping window tint. He's still sanding on the headlights over there, and we're getting there little by little. So he finished with the headlights, went over at 2000 grit, and then wet 2000 grit. So they're looking good. We're going to buff those. I'm going to try to put all this in one video. So I'm going to do this tomorrow. Going to buff these. We're kind of beat for tonight. But we did get several things accomplished. We got all the, after we got that panel, that package panel out of the way, we went to town with the razor blades, and this has taken a lot of time. So yeah, we did lose the rear defrost, but like I said, it had already peeled off with the tint. So that's just kind of how it goes when you have old tint. You know, it's just one of those things you got to deal with. So either way, you know, you could replace the back glass if you wanted to. Look, we don't get a ton of bad weather, and if it's that bad, chances are I won't want him driving it anyway. So just, you know, heat in the car will clear that back glass off. But either way, back glass is for the most part down. I'm going to go over it one more time just to make sure we're good. We're going to re-tint it, but I'm going to leave this out for a while, so my tinter, he's going to love me just for leaving these panels out. And I'm actually going to have him tint across where the third brake light shines through. And the reason being is I just don't love that look when it's not tinted here. So you can see, I don't know, I just don't like that look. So I'm gonna have him tint that all the way across. And then aside from that, like I said, we're gonna buff the taillights tomorrow. And then I think we'll also, that's about as much of this glue as I can get off. So I think at this point we may just start paint correcting this deck lid so we can snap the spoiler back on. So my plan in the rest of this video is to for sure get the headlights buffed, and then if this is dry, put it back on. If not, we'll for sure get this paint corrected since we're going to have the buffer out to do the headlights. So let's get we'll just cut to tomorrow where we're doing that stuff. So it's the next morning, and I'm just gonna clean this off a little bit before I start going crazy here, but I'm gonna be using a little bit different product than I normally do because I'm out of M105, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm still using a microfiber, still using my cheapy G8 DA, but I want to get this section hit, like I said, before we snap the spoiler back on. And I've got as much of this extra glue off that I can get off, but I just wanted to wipe it down a little bit before. I got some, this is some CarPro waterless wash actually. So the main things we're wanting to focus on is obviously getting the marring out, but then we took the badge off, the G8 badge, the Pontiac G8, so you can see the outline of it. We want to get that off as well, and I'll probably time lapse, like I said, a majority of this, but let me go grab the product and I'll show you what I'm talking about we're going to use. So it's actually just a medium cut of Meguiar's, and like I said, I'm just out of my M105. I'm supposed to have some today, but no worse than this is. This stuff will work really well. It's really runny though, and so I do prefer M105, even though M105, I bought some other stuff, some D300 to try because they say it dusts less and works just about as good as M105. So we may try that on the rest of the car, but for now, let's just knock this out. So because of the wind, I had to put the garage door down. It was really causing ruckus here. So anyway, in between each one of these, the pad you'll see gets all gummed up. And so I take a brush and run it outside. That's why I generally like to keep the door open, but it's so windy today. Run the pad, clean the pad out after you've made a pass. That makes sure you know, you still have room to gather stuff. So yeah, that's why you can see that the light has changed. So I'm gonna clean my pad out between each section, probably go over each section 2 or 3 times, and then we'll switch over to a different compound. Now that we went over it 2 or 3 times with the first pass, I've switched over to an orange pad and some M205, kind of my go-to here. And we're gonna polish it up, and we're gonna call it good until we get the spoiler on. We'll probably go over it again once the spoiler's on, but like I said, I can't get up to the edges of the spoiler on the bottom or the top. Just the pad won't allow it, you know? So if there's some scratches along the leading edge, I want to get those out before we put the spoiler on. So we're going to go over it with this, and yeah, I think we'll be finished and ready to put the spoiler on. What an amazing difference. We got the outline of the G8 off, as you can see. Don't have that anymore. Don't got that. Oh, that's the heavily in me. But I think this is good for now. Like I said, we'll probably go over it again once we get the spoiler on. I also went, if you can see the difference where I did around the antenna, and you guys will see why I did that coming very soon. But I wanted to hit that area too, which like I said, you'll see in a different video. But we're finished with this. I'm gonna have him hold the headlights here while I try to polish them. I'll show you guys that because I'm excited. Like seeing stuff like this when it cleans up is so exciting. So watching these headlights come back to life, I'm hoping is going to be kind of cool to watch. Same product, M105, technically not M105, but this medium cut microfiber, and then we're gonna go over it with the M205 and the foam, and I'll time lapse all this. Just take a look at these headlights now. It is absolutely insane what just a little bit of elbow grease can get you. Now look, are they perfect? No, there's still some pitting in there, and you just don't want to get too crazy and go too deep because, you know, they're not super thick, and you don't want to get them really, really hot. So I really like using my DA on stuff like this just because it doesn't get hot. But either way, guys, I think at this point we are still waiting on the headlights, and I think we're finished for this video, but we did get a lot accomplished. Obviously, we got the headlights out and buffed, sanded and buffed. He did that. He also sanded his windshield wipers. We sprayed them with some just semi-gloss or satin Rust-Oleum. They are looking way better. You can see none of the junk where you could see it peeling before. Looks so much better. We're gonna get him some new windshield wipers too. We got the deck lid obviously paint corrected, and look if you can see the difference when we go to the side. How crazy is that? The difference. And then same thing up top. That's where you can really see it in this light where we went around that antenna. But we got that accomplished. We got the spoiler glued, even though I didn't show you guys that. We got all of the window tint off, even though we had to disassemble half the car to get it. I still probably will go around this dot matrix around the edges and use maybe some fine out steel wool and some glue or gunk or some 3M adhesive remover to try to get the rest of it. A lot of times your tint or the glue will stick in that dot matrix, and I want it to be nice and clean before he tints it. And generally my window tint guy is about 3 weeks out. So we do have some time to finish getting that off. So I think, other than that, we did get the front bumper completely off, obviously to get the headlights out, but we got these ugly billet grills. They're all faded. The black, where, you know, not on the face, but on the inside is all faded. Looks crappy. I'm so excited that he decided to take those off because I thought for a minute he was gonna keep them. Of course, we got the gas door, the ugly gas door off, and the factory matching one back on there. Other than that, guys, we've got quite a bit accomplished in this video. I know that it's, maybe some people think it's taken away from what I'm doing down in the shop, but honestly, guys, I'm excited to have him excited about this project, and I want to get it together as soon as possible because I think he kind of wants to drive around. He's got his permit, so once we get the spoiler snapped on and the headlights in, we can at least drive it around. But hopefully, like I said, you guys are enjoying this. If you are, like always, please smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, guys, please go down there, hit the subscribe. Of course, ring the bell icon that notifies you every time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.